how many children he has, as what we know. From all different wives, yeah, it's surely breaking any good laws of morality and good constitution to be a president. But from all different wives and no wives, but visible, publicly visible, we know he has 4 kids. But as his behavior were already discussed as no very a good man, concerning his affair and be devoted to his love, women of his love, he probably have lots of on the sides, children which we never were shown. Yes, and these 2 women discussing, spending the hours for everything we already figured it out and know. The question is, how long this mini version, which pretend to be big, of Bonaparte, Napoleon, will confuse us, taking so much time, that's very valuable, taking so much time of our life. That's what it is for this banana deal. He has so many so many bananas deals, and legal and illegal, and love those money which never his family produced. So now everything is on the top of discussion, view, and very visible. The question is, when is over this disaster? When? This politic he really shown as those media which really bad if they support it, not really need. We don't need it, okay? It does not show that his party is really so big, but is it identified finally that a good party of politics, good party of media, good party of justice and population still exists? No need to be a very big, but you could be very big in a small amounts. So how long we gonna wait for something? Quit this banana deal, this banana deal, playing husband no husband, father no father, president no president, but everything fake, and even the money.
Write letters to himself, to his inner child with his non-dominant hand,
Right.
and figure out what is so broken in him instead of acting out all of his brokenness onto the American public.
What then, talking about writing notes to himself, I'm always fascinated. You know, when the camera manages to get the notes they've been writing, Scott Bessant's note, resilience, and then Operation Economic Fury with a little arrow by it. So he's writing himself notes so he knows what note to hit with the president.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Scott Bessant is one of these gay men that is carrying water for the patriarchy, and he's going to be one of the first to drown. And of course, he has a bank account that could choke a bull, and so that parachutes him a lot. But
Yes, because what's he got, like 600, 700 million? I think it's not quite a billionaire.
yeah, I mean, he's got enough. I mean, in a pinch,
Enough,
he's going to be
enough.
fine, right? But it's fascinating to me how they have talking points. They have to praise the president. I think I saw a report, I can't remember if it was the New York Times or Washington Post. They analyzed all of the cabinet members' speeches. And
Yes, it was the
one out
Times,
of every
yeah.
6 sentences is praising Donald Trump. I mean, what an indictment on the entire cabinet that every 6 sentences, but can you imagine if we're podcasting? Joanna, that lipstick looks great on you.
You could do that, though. I would be fine if you did
I need
that.
to atone for calling you Joanna.
You do. You need to attend. Dinner is on you next time.
That's right.
But what if you're in the room? I mean, we've all been in corporate meetings like this, where, or you know from your days in television, you know from your days as an interior designer, the obsequiousness and watching other people being obsequious and them trying to out-flatter each other. It just seems pathetic.
Better sleep is simple. Just track your activity.
Avoid blue
Exercise
light. Get
regularly.
adequate exposure to natural light. Or maybe you just need a little more from your mat.
It really is pathetic. Ruth Ben-Ghiat, she is a professor at NYU, a scholar on autocrats. And she says this is a feature of dictators, of autocrats. They pick people that are easy to break. They pick people intentionally that are obsequious.
Okay, hold.
Listen, this is very important stuff they speaking right now. Very important words. What kind of people dictators are always in need? Are they smart?
They pick people intentionally that are obsequious.
Okay, hold on. Easy to break. What does it mean, easy to break?
So, like, look at Marco Rubio
Right.
and the humiliation ritual that they do with him. Did you see where they recently had him on Air Force One in the same Nike outfit that Nicolas Maduro was wearing when they captured him?
I did not see
They
that.
put Marco Rubio
No.
in the same jumpsuit.
Right.
And that Stephen Chung that runs,
Right, the comms guy.
he took a photograph of Lil Marco and posted it on the White House social media stuff, which is a humiliation ritual. They put him in those shoes that are too big for him.
Right, the Florsheim $148 shoes.
Yes, and so these people are very easy to break. Like Kristi Noem, the fact that she had murdered her dog, and nobody ever talks about the goat, Joanna. She
Right.
also shot a goat.
Right.
And then that is a sign for Trump that, oh, she's perfect for me. You know, he says himself, I don't want to hang around with winners. I don't want to hear somebody talk about how great they are. I love hanging out with losers. And I say that Trump is entering his deathbed confession era.
It's not only he love and getting ready to go losers. They were watching for the people, especially legal. They love to use them, but somebody who support those legal people around them, like family or themselves, they like to break them and make them totally usable for their own needs. That's what the party of Donald Trump is all about, to prepare people, losers, to be losers for their own needs. How wonderful, how brilliant, how intelligent it is for be a president of United States.
So he's starting to say all of the quiet parts out loud. He's saying, I love hanging out with losers. He likes to be the big dick in charge. He wants everybody to kiss his ass, and they don't feel secondhand embarrassment or the cringiness of all of that.
So, and why don't they? Are they just glad to be in the room?
Yes, I think this is the largest collection of broken people in our lifetime. You've never seen a group of such broken people before. This is like a
So they spend in hours, days, months, these super troopers medias, MSNBC, CNN, and isn't that, and Fox, and all of this, after all, showing that the true justice, we just can't pick it up. Everything is so much visible. Felon, abusers, where he belonged, but they are what? Fragile, not ready to do it? What is wrong with them?
If you went to a rehab facility with a triple diagnosis of a personality disorder,
Right.
meth addiction,
Right.
inner childhood trauma, all of
Gambling
the things.
addicts.
Sex
They're all
addicts.
gambling with their futures.
Yes. And you're sitting around in the circle, and I've experienced with this. My husband is in recovery, and so I've been to a family week. And no disrespect to anybody who is struggling with addiction or anything, but these are all untreated, broken people.
Right.
On full display. It's flagrant incompetence on full display. And I think Trump loves it.
So is Trump the most broken of all?
Yes and no. I mean, he's at the top of the food chain with all of the broken people. I mean, he doesn't bend for anybody. Every chance he can get, like my favorite thing happening right now, Joanna, is the rat fucking of JD Vance. It is I'm living for this.
Okay, go on. Tell me everything.
Okay, so Donald Trump, he's not going to be thinking about succession. Autocrats and dictators do not think about this. JD Vance is thinking about that. And the oligarchs that purchased JD Vance, who I call the pimps, and I call JD Vance the hoe. And so they're thinking about succession. So Trump's like, JD, go over to Pakistan and negotiate peace deal. He knew that was going to faceplant.
Right. And it's a 21-hour flight.
Go campaign with Viktor Orban. Go up there and get on stage with Viktor Orban. You're going to be the fraud czar.
Right.
He just said yesterday or the day before that if JD does a good enough job being the fraud czar, he will get rid of the deficit. That is a rat fuck of epic proportions because nobody can do that right now.
So is he doing that consciously to undermine J.D. Vance?
Yes,
Right.
I do. I think he's petty like that. I think he does stuff out of spite. J.D. Vance thinks he's going to be the heir apparent. Trump didn't want J.D. Vance to be his vice president, but the tech oligarch said, we'll support you if we can.
Yeah, because nobody likes those Indians who came uninvitedly to this country, even such a felons like Donald Trump, because they're very inconvenient to even them. They're going to be fighting on a sphere of influence, of course. He sees them not as partners, he sees in them enemies. But you and me, we don't need them either. They belong to India yet, came uninvitedly to the country with the fake visas and sticking in here and just making nothing but a growing family with the happen to be a vice president. You know, it doesn't make a whole family of J.D. Vance completely American yet. No, they all known as just a talker. Good talker, bad talker is just a talker. Who is paying for your talks? So nobody's paying for his talks, and Donald Trump, as he has pretty much X, as we know, he told us about X from that April 6th, which was celebrated as a Easter. He said that means that he steals some money. They still have some money and can dictate such things like a J.D. Vance, and you know, he's a party no party. So he feels like J.D. Vance is very inconvenient yet. Plus, probably he cannot sleep. Nobody wants to sleep with his Indian wife. Yes, as they like to sleep with every girl, like, you know, they look at every position which taken by the woman, if they can sleep with her or not, which is very pretty much paranoia, which our society have to overcome yet. So perhaps we will have a government entirely made from the women in the near future. I see it pretty much positive.
And install him.
So remind me who Trump wanted.
I don't remember who he wanted.
Doug Burgum was up
Maybe.
at one point from North Dakota. Former
Maybe.
governor of North Dakota. Right.
I don't remember who he wanted. I know it wasn't, he didn't want Pence again, but I'm sure he wanted somebody, you know, a little bit. A little bit less controversial than Vance.
I thought it was Don Jr. that pushed. Well, I guess Don Jr. and Peter Thiel and the tech guys pushed J.D. Vance on
Right.
him.
Right. And so now I think next up is going to be the rat fucking of Marco Rubio. Because
Hold on. Let me just finish with the rat fucking of J.D. Vance. So is J.D. Vance, though, is the reason he's been given, well, he was given the Pakistan Is the reason he's been
I
given
tried to scroll back just
Maybe.
to see that this
Notification.
woman
Right.
left
I don't remember who
is
he wanted. I know it wasn't. He didn't want Pence again, but I'm sure he wanted
employee
somebody
of a
you know,
Daily
a little bit-
Beast.
a little bit less controversial than Vance.
I thought it was Don Jr. that pushed. Well, I guess Don
Chief.
Jr. and Peter
She's a
Thiel
chief.
and the tech guys pushed JD Vance
Right.
on him.
Right, and so now I think
And this
next
one
up
is co-host.
is going to be the rat fucking of Marco Rubio because
Hold on. Let me just finish with the rat fucking of JD Vance. So is JD Vance, though, is the reason he's been given, well, he was given the Pakistan trip and then Viktor Orban, and he's basically being punished by Trump, right?
Yes.
Is that because he managed to get out that he was against the war in Iran?
I think so. He was leaking that,
Right.
and Donald Trump doesn't like any disloyalty because you saw the escalation of the rat fuck right after it was leaked that JD Vance was the only.
All right,
mature
and here we can
adult
stop the
voice in
whole
room that said, I think
this
it's a bad
video
idea.
conversation
Right, and that's when it escalated.
and
And don't
finish
forget,
my video
JD
clip
Vance
because
went to a Turning Point
they
rally
come
in Georgia.
come to
where
the
it was
point to
so
speak
poorly
about
attended
Iran
by
war,
tens
which
of
was
people
not
that even
necessary
Eric
at
Kirk
all,
did
especially
come
the
at the
way
altar and
it
didn't show
came.
up
And
for
nobody
this rally.
knows
So JD
what is the
Vance
true
has been
in
going
there.
through quite a few things, but
Absolutely.
my favorite is the
Obviously,
fraud
one thing that
czar and
it
declaring that
turned
he is going
not
to
very successful
get rid
to
of the
the
deficit.
dreams
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Trillions
Donald
of
Trump
dollars.
and
So if you're
his
JD Vance,
party.
how do you play this out?
Well, there's, I think, reporting in the last 2 or 3 days that he was not going to seek higher office, that JD Vance is saying he's not going to run for president in 28. And so
He just
the
feel that
cult
nobody need him for
takes their
president.
marching orders from
He is
Trump. And JD
getting
Vance
ready to
is-
be a father for the
internet has
fourth
done a
time.
great job.
His wife is very
The couch
pregnant right
situation.
now.
Right.
They
The
decided
eyeliner. China gave us a huge
in the
assist.
middle
We've
of
seen
the
all of those videos that
everywhere,
Chinese
the
made about
politics,
JD Vance when he called
the
Chinese
great
workers
job
peasants,
he's
and they made
taking,
these
they
great
decide
videos of JD Vance applying lipstick
have a
and eyeliner.
family
Right,
extension.
and also
so
the baby
they
face.
focus
Yes,
on their
yes,
family.
Right. And so I missed, and this is partly because I've been away, as you know, I've been handling my mother's death. So I missed a couple of things. I missed JD Vance saying he wasn't going to run for president in 2028.
He didn't say that precisely, but there was reporting, I believe it was Politico, I might get the publication wrong, that JD Vance would not, he was retreating from seeking higher office
Right.
in 2028. And then that leaves Marco, which
There's
I
so
have this
many
theory that the Republican Party
pretenders
is going
of
to say,
to run for
let's get back to
president
our
that
roots. Let's get back to the Reagan of it all. And Marco
right
Rubio
now-
is going to say, I was always a traditional Republican. And the
Right.
only
Of course,
reason
he has
I
a
even
doubt
agreed
that
to be
with this
Secretary
big
of State
tension
is so that I could keep an
on
eye
to
on
be
him.
or not to be around
And
the
they're going
White
to try to do
House.
this whole rebranding and trot him out.
It's
But
very
here's the
hard
thing.
to get to
Trump
that.
is a petty old
And
man.
why?
Sabotage
Why it's so important to be
rat
a
fuck
president?
Marco Rubio. It's not like Trump
What
is
is
this
it
big
they
guy
think
that's going to go, JD,
to
you
be
take on the American
accomplished in the
movement. We've
future
started something great
if
here.
they
He doesn't have that
will
in
get
him.
this
He's not a big
position.
enough guy to do that.
How
he will
they gonna
rat
be
fuck whoever
accomplished
except
for
the only person I
themselves,
think he would give
for
a
the
full
country?
blessing to would be
That's a
Ivanka.
big question. But
It's my
everybody
question.
wants to
Okay,
be a
so
This is
president.
my theory.
Where do you think he is with people like Howard Lutnick and Besant, who've made a lot of money? I mean, because he admires them in a different way, doesn't he? Doesn't he love rich people?
He loves rich people, but I think he's also jealous of rich people.
Okay.
I think these people are completely disposable at any minute, and they know this, which is why they humiliate themselves on national television at these cabinet meetings. They know if I do not say Trump is so great, he has unleashed the golden age, all of this jet stream of bullshit, they know that he will pick them up and put him in the trash can. And so I don't think any of his relationships have any depth or any meaning other than you tell me how great I am.
Right.
You get humiliated, even for one of the richest men on the planet. Let's talk about
Yeah. Well, that's how everybody, look how smart women, those who are in a Daily Beast, you see running in this business. And they say all people will hear the same thing. They come into conclusion that Donald Trump, his intelligence is all about skin deep. Skin deep. if you not say that you're beautiful, you're smart, if they not all not telling him sweet things, they will be thrown in a trash can. It's just how simple to say, but they just said it. Yes. So this is a dictatorship, pure dictatorship of a pure, very incompetent person, which unfortunately still hanging somewhere there around the White House. At least we hear it as a news, but lots of news are coming as untrue news, especially if they are very inconvenient for the listening, because they those news are contradict the true we know, and they cannot hang it as just proposal for something untrue to live and hang a steady business or life in there in a very high, simply to say top shelf, as they think it is top shelf, a White House runners.